Mm-mm.
Okay na, i-admit ko na ha. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Hello.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Yes.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome, sir, and thank you very much for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. So, sir, first and foremost, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Karen. I'm a consultant for ATC.
And my name is She. Hi, sir. Nice meeting you here.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much again for accepting our invitation. Sir, I would like to briefly introduce ATC if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes. So, sir, ATC stands for Anagon Travel Consultancy. We have 3 branches, Asia, Europe, and Canada. So, it's been operating since 2012, and as of this moment, we have a lot of interested students who want to study in Europe, more specifically in Spain and Italy, since we're actually actively advertising these places. So, yes, sir. As of this day, we would like to ask for permission to upload our recording in our page, if that is okay with you, Paul.
Yes, that's fine, Karen.
Thank you, sir. Sir, before we start, we would like for you to, if it's okay for you to introduce yourself for our future viewers, sir.
Okay, sige. Hello everyone, good afternoon or good evening, good morning, wherever you are based in around the world. I am Jean Jacinta Jr. I am from the Philippines. I have studied in 2015-2016 in Spain, specifically at the Universidad de Católica San Antonio de Murcia in Murcia, Spain. So I pursued a master's in European Union Studies and Human Rights. And I am currently affiliated with should I say my affiliation, or that's fine already?
Yes, sir. Do please.
All right. So I am currently affiliated with the Global Center for Good Governance in Tobacco Control. So it's an NGO specifically working on tobacco industry interference. So we are a knowledge hub under the United Nations Framework Convention, World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. And we are also a member of a global industry watchdog called STOP, or Stopping Tobacco Organization, and partners.
Wow. That's so cool, sir. I don't know the word, but it's so cool. Sir, are you currently here in the Philippines, Puba, sir?
Yes, I am based in the Philippines.
I see. Okay. So, sir, yes, you were able to mention that you studied in UCAM 2015 to 2016, sir, no?
Yes.
Sir, question, why did you choose to study in UCAM then?
Honestly, I didn't really. At first, I was really planning to pursue my masters in Asia lang, because I wanted to have that opportunity to come back to the Philippines every now and then and be able to, let's say, celebrate Christmas or some celebrations with the family. But then I come across UCAM through my university, the San Beda. At that time in 2015, they were drafting a memorandum of agreement with San Beda and UCAM. And then our international relations director, who knew at that time that I was planning to pursue my master's outside, recommended for me to check out the website of UCAM because they thought that there might be programs that I might be interested. So yeah, it was really a random afternoon. I was just walking through our corridors, and then our international relations office director saw me, and then she just suggested for me to check UCAM, and then the rest was history.
Wow. Just it happened. It started on a random afternoon. Yes. So how about viewers? kapag kayo po yung may dream rin na mag-pursue ng further studies abroad, why not try UCAM po, no? Like Sir Jean. Yeah. Sir, question. Did you do
Yes.
the application yourself po?
Yes, I did the applications myself.
So, sir, how was that application experience like? Was it stressful po? Lax naman po kayo or
When I was preparing my applications, definitely you have that kind of anxiety because for me personally, I really wanted to pursue my master's outside the Philippines. So I was really intent of making sure that all the preparations are aligned with what's needed to be submitted to the respective universities that I am applying for. So for example, for UCAM, I really made sure that I followed the instruction that they have given. For example, in submitting a Europass resume and making sure that my cover letter is aligned with, let's say, the mission, vision, and stuff of the university. So, and then it was also great because I was mentored by a professor from the International Relations Office who really helped me with the applications. For example, I drafted all the cover letters, I drafted all the documents that I need to submit, but I sent the documents to him for copy editing to make sure that everything was good and ready to go.
wow. At least po sir, 'di ba, na double check po yung sa inyo po.
Yeah, I think one advice or tip that I could give to future students who wants to pursue, further studies outside is look for, a good mentor who will be able to help you with the preparations.
Yes. Thank you very much sir for that. Actually, that was a very great advice to all our future applicants. Yes, worry not. That is for ATC to handle for you. But then again, for the DIYs who are pursuing to study there in Europe, do please heed Sir Jean's advice because it matters. Yes po, tama po. So, sir, during the visa application, was yung experience po ninyo with school application and then visa application, was it smooth po ba? Or were there problems that you were able to encounter during your application overall before flying there?
Overall, I think my application from submitting my documents to the university to the visa application, I think it went smoothly. I didn't really encounter any problems at that time. I'm not sure now because of definitely with the protocols that we have to follow with regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. But at that time, it was fairly easy. I don't really remember encountering any difficulty in terms of the process. I think it was just really the anxiety if I will be accepted into the university and then followed by the anxiety whether my visa will be approved.
Tama po. So, yung oras po ng paghihintay, those
That's true.
those times na parang the time it's longer po ano, parang yung feeling, oh sana approve ganito. Oh, yes,
actually with me it was the anxiety was double because when I decided that I want to study in UCAM, I had to withdraw a scholarship offer from an Asian university who already offered me a program. So I thought at that time that if I accept the offer, then I will be living or studying in Asia then, which fairly has the similar culture, fairly similar background where I am coming from the Philippines. So I thought that I wanted to withdraw my application then. So while waiting for the visa approval, it was quite difficult. I mean, in terms of the anxiety that you're feeling whether I will be approved or not.
So right now, sir, I think and I believe that was the right choice.
I hope so. I hope so.
Sir, I believe, believe, ganon. Sir, do please, right now, I'm very curious as to how was your experience in UCAM po? UCAM?
Um, Actually, napag-interchange ko din siya, whether we use UCAM or UCAM. But anyway, in terms of my experience in UCAM, I think what I really like about the program is that our professors are also working on the ground. They are affiliated with different European institutions. Well, I mean, for me, for our program, the European Union Studies and Human Rights program, all of our professors are from affiliated with different European institutions and organizations. So they are able to, share a lot of relatable experiences that the students can be motivated to also pursue after the program.
Nice. Oh, nice. Sir, yeah. So parang Canada rin po siya, no, sir? Like, the professors there in Canada are also highly well trained, and they're also like affiliated with these different organizations as well. Wherein it's the same with, well, as was mentioned in your department from back then, at least the professors are also affiliated with some organizations, or if not with organizations.
Mm-mm.
I think that's a very good, how to say, kumbaga parang asset ng school, especially
Yeah.
kung ito yung magtuturo sa'yo, right?
Yeah, I think it's a really a plus for the university, because
Mm.
you're not only teaching the theories of the subjects, but you're also able to share real world experiences to the students.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking those words right out of my mouth. I couldn't actually quite put it in words, and I'm frustrated right now. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, how about in Murcia po? So, Murcia, Italy, how was living life there as a student?
As a student, honestly, at first when I arrived in Murcia, well, I mean, prior to coming to Murcia, I wasn't expecting that there is a place in the world that's not so comfortable with speaking the language. I mean, the English. So at first, when I arrived in Murcia, it was quite difficult, but because I didn't really prepare with the language barrier, because I didn't really expect that to have. So when I arrived there, I I had this feeling of, choosing which restaurants or which food stalls to eat, because I was quite shy to that people will know that I don't speak Spanish. That was the very first time in my entire life that I was hesitant to speak English. So if the students are planning to pursue their graduate studies in Spain or in Italy, where the language is where English is not the first language, it's a good preparation for you to study Italian, French, or Spanish wherever you are targeting to apply.
Thank you very much, sir. Second advice na po yan ni Sir Jean. Dear applicants, please heed. Yes. Alright. So we do believe, actually, here in ATC, we do believe that that is the way for a much more comfortable life once they fly there. So we're
Yeah, sure.
encouraging our applicants po to actually learn the basics man lang po ng language nila, para naman at least hindi sila nawawala.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it's also a sign of courtesy to the people you will be meeting in those specific countries where you will be studying. At least you have that, basic language, probably just saying hello or thank you, or simple words that those people will appreciate.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, now that you were able to mention that you were kind of shy speaking in English back then in that particular place, the question is, did you work while studying?
Yes, I actually taught English because when I went there, what I wanted was, because when I went there, I didn't really plan of traveling around Europe, because my plan was really to study. But then when I arrived in UCAM, or in Musia, I I was welcomed by several Filipino students who, really encouraged me to take advantage of the opportunity to travel around Europe because of the Schengen visa. So when I was in Murcia, I taught English to kids, like 4 5 year old kids. So it was nice because I didn't really have to be fluent in Spanish, so to speak to teach them. Because, for example, I'm not sure if you are familiar with the auxiliar program. um these are people, let's say, from the Philippines, who go to Spain to teach English, or let's say from people from the US to teach English to kids, or to, let's say, high school students, or younger kids. So similar to them, I wasn't allowed to speak in Spanish whenever I am teaching English to the kids. So it was nice. And especially it was, I think it was great because I didn't because the parents I was dealing with knows how to speak English. So at least I wasn't like forced to
Yes.
be fluent in Spanish.
That's so nice, sir. Well, at least you took the advantage po, ano, at least you took the opportunity as well to be able
Mm.
to work while studying. So hopefully our applicants will be able to have the opportunity as well, especially so that, very budget conscious tayo most of the
Yeah.
times.
I mean,
Pagdadag,
I think there are jobs that they can do. Like, for example, for me in Murcia, there are, several jobs that you can take while you are there. I think it's just a matter of whether you are comfortable with doing the work or not, because definitely here in the Philippines, they may think that they are comfortable. They don't have to, like, I mean, let's be honest, there are a lot of young kids nowadays that don't really do the dishes, or let's say household chores. But then if you are in another country, and the standard of living is quite high, you will be really forced to do everything on your own, to include working, and, let's say, teaching kids to English to kids, or whether you will be, joining restaurants or food stalls as a server and all. I think it's just a matter of, lowering your pride, I guess, and
yeah.
trying new things when you are already outside the Philippines. Because, definitely for me, honestly, my how would I say, like, how would I put it? I'm not really used to doing like the groceries, doing all my laundries. Before, I mean, I'm just being very honest.
Yes, sir.
Before going to Spain, so when I was there, I was forced. I had to learn to do everything on my own, like doing the groceries, the laundries, cooking for myself. So it's really nice that YouTube is there to help you, with cooking, because there are a lot of cultural nights wherein you will have to bring your own food. So, for example, for me, I would usually bring adobo and, serve it to our other foreigner friends.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Sir, don't po kayo na train, ha, Sir Jean.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true.
And I do believe as well na most of us watching, if not all, are yet sa mga teenagers lang naman po na katulad namin, ni Sir Jean. Oh.
Natin.
Natin, ni Miss She as well. Sorry po. Si Miss She po kasi is
Yes.
She's well trained na po. She's doing her the chores na po kasi kaya well, ako na po ngayon. Ako lang po ngayon sa ating grupo. Yes. Well, anyway, future viewers, advice number 3. Magte-train po talaga kayo kapag
Yeah, you just have to explore and at least try out new things, try different things that you don't have the opportunity to do when you are in the Philippines. So for me, teaching, working while studying. So
Thank you very much, Sir Jean. Now, speaking of opportunities, Sir Jean, did you know about the 1-year job search visa after your studies in Spain back then?
actually at that time, from if I can recall correctly, parang wala pa siya at that time eh. It was after I think if it was a year or two after our program that the Spanish government gave the 1-year residency for students to look for jobs. So yun. Yeah. I think I've heard of that before, but it wasn't there yet at that time.
I see. So had there been the opportunity of having your visa extension for a job search back then, you would have definitely applied for it.
I'm not sure because
I see.
when I went to Spain at first, I didn't really plan of staying because I am an only child. So both of my parents at that time would have retired from their respective works. So they don't have anyone to they don't have anyone to be with them if ever there are emergencies. So I didn't really plan of staying in Spain after the program. But honestly, when I was already there, because of the freedom to do everything, without having to ask for permission or without having to think of your parents being what you call this, nag-aalala wherever you are. So I did apply. I did apply to several jobs, and I was actually offered a job in a renewable energy company. But in 2015, 2016, the economy of Spain was still recovering. So when we were applying for my work visa, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs asked the company, because it was a startup then. So they asked the founder or the CEO of the startup whether he cannot find a Spanish qualified for the job. So I think in all fairness to him, I really felt how sincere he was in trying to make things work in order for me to get the working visa. But maybe it's really not meant for me, because eventually they did not allow, or they did not give me the work visa for me to be able to work for their company. So I think it's not really meant for me. So that's fine. And anyway, my plan was, I didn't really plan of staying afterwards. But if I had the opportunity to stay, I think I would have stayed.
Thank you very much, Sir Jean. Yes. So, sir, how about your classmates, sir? Before I ask about the situation or yung cases ng classmates ninyo back then, were you able to encounter Filipinos na kabatch niyo po during that time?
Yeah, we were actually 7 in UCAM. So 1, 2, 3 from my program, and then 4 from the Masters in Business Administration.
Wow,
MBA.
so you have like 2 Filipino classmates back then. Wow. Yes. So how are they naman po, sir? So right after your program, you all came home.
No, my other classmate pursued went on to take another master's in UCAM. I think she took a master's in tourism, something related to that, because her line of work prior to our master's in European Union Studies was in line with the airline industry as a stewardess, if I can recall correctly. So after that, she stayed and pursued another master's, and then the other one, she got married to her longtime boyfriend. So she is now in the UK, while the other one who pursued the master's in tourism is in, I think, Madrid.
Wow. Congratulations po to your batchmate. If you're still keeping
Yes,
in
yes,
touch,
definitely.
nice. Thank you, Sir Jean. All right. So, sir, overall, what are the pros and cons po about studying in UCAM? Ukaya.
Pros and cons.
Yes. It's,
Um, I mean, I think I can only think of pros as
mm,
someone who is coming from, let's say, from the Philippines.
yes.
In terms of, yeah, in terms of, I think generally in terms of studying outside the country, um you will have an opportunity to learn another language, for example Spanish for me, because I was studying in Spain. And then you will have the opportunity to connect with other people from different backgrounds, from different cultural ethnicities. And it was nice because in classes we would usually have a lot of discussions, not really heated debates, but more of, holistic discussions of sharing how a particular nationality look at a particular aspect. So for example, when we say about democracy being the best form of government, another student would say, no, that's actually the worst form of government because of the so bureaucratic processes. So for me personally, as someone coming from a democratic country, um, I didn't really see it that way prior to that discussion. So it would having classmates from different countries, from different backgrounds, would give you a lot of new, perspective on on how you see things. Another pro probably would be networking, definitely. So for example, after the program, I have I have visited my yeah, I think I have visited my classmate. So for example, after the program, I stayed for several months before coming back to the Philippines. So I visited some friends who are in Portugal, for example, who are in another country. So it was nice, to meet with them in their respective countries, and then for them to tour you around.
Yes, sir. Yan yung advantage. That's the advantage of having really acquaintances or
Yes.
yes, people who
And I
you
think
know.
another thing that I could think of
Mm.
is it gives you that kind of motivation to be more Filipino. I mean, to be more Filipino in a way that you are quite eager to represent the Philippines well in terms of, for example, cultural nights. At
Mm.
first, I wasn't really good at. I wasn't. I don't cook. So when I was in Spain and we had cultural nights, I had to bring adobo and be able to share about the Philippines. At first, honestly speaking, I'm not really good with geography. I'm not. You would say I'm not so Filipino in a sense because I'm not so familiar about a lot of things in the Philippines. But when I was in Spain, I had to research about the Philippines because I have to take pride of being a Filipino and being able to share the goodness of what the Philippines can offer to your classmates or to your friends from other countries.
Yes, sir. Woo! So proud Filipino na si Sir Ryan. Yeah, matagal naman na po, no, sir? Si Karen naman kung makapag-twist ng words. Well, anyway, sir, thank you very much. Sir, last two po.
Okay, sure.
Any message to those who are still having second thoughts about studying in Spain and studying in UCAM in general, sir?
Um, for me kasi, I was a member of ISEC in the Philippines. I'm not sure if you are familiar with ISEC. So it's a student-led organization present in over 100 plus countries. So when I was still studying in San Beda, I had the opportunity of meeting with students coming from different countries. And so I think that's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to pursue my graduate studies outside of the Philippines, so that I will have that same opportunity, that same experiential learning of being able to learn on the ground. For example, for me in Spain, um, my advice is really go for it, and try to learn as much as you can. But hopefully, you bring back all the knowledge and learnings that you will be getting from your programs outside the country.
Here, here. Thank you, Sir Jean. Any words for those who have decided to study in UCAM? So we have a lot of students who are applying for UCAM actually. And any advice for them po, sir?
Yeah, I've actually been receiving random messages on LinkedIn or on Facebook, reaching out asking for information about studying in UCAM, pros, cons, etc. I think UCAM generally follows a different educational standard in terms of the programs that they are offering. So it would be really good for you to just go for it, apply for the programs that you're eyeing for, and um I hope that you you take a full advantage of everything that UCAM will be offering you with, and also enjoy the opportunity to travel around Europe, because it's nice to experience new cultures, and it would also lead you to new learnings, new networks, new friends that you will be meeting along the way. So you just have to enjoy the experience of having that opportunity to study in another country, away from all the comfort zones that you have in the Philippines, away from your parents, from everything that you are used to.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, do you have plans in the future to go study again in another country perhaps, or um wala na po?
Well, personally, I do have plans of hopefully
Mm.
studying again in another country, but as of the moment, I am currently pursuing another master's at the Ateneo. So for now, no, but perhaps hopefully in several years after this, I would be able to hopefully pursue my PhD outside the Philippines.
Yes, so we wish you the best of luck, Sir Jean. Thank you very much for being with us. So, any last words po? Feel free to voice out anything and everything, sir. Yes, sir.
Um, Probably to help students, or let's say ATC education, with
Mm.
encouraging students to take that leap, of faith to pursue their studies outside the country. You just have to go for it, because at the end of the day, that learning experience will bring you a lot of advantages. So you just have to enjoy what is in front of you, and don't mind about the opportunities that you want to pursue. Opportunities will be there afterwards anyway. So you just have to enjoy that opportunity that you have, of studying in another country.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you po, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah, so
Erin.
thank
Thank
you
you, She.
po.
It was nice.
Thank you.
It was nice talking to you guys.
Yes, sir. Actually, we're very honored to have you. Actually, this will be something that we'd like to push our ano to former yung mga former na nagtanong po sa amin, but then was having second thoughts actually. So we'd like to encourage them to go kasi mission po ni ATC is to be able to bring Filipinos outside to attain quality education, that high quality education that I'll be honest, sir, here in the Philippines, more on qual tayo eh. Hindi siya hindi siya experiential, although meron naman po, kaso, but then
Yeah,
again,
iba,
yes, sir.
iba pa rin kasi talaga yung iba pa rin kasi talaga yung opportunity to live and study there because you would
Mm-mm.
be away from all the comfort zones that you have in the Philippines. So for example, with me living alone on my own without any relatives nearby, you would have to be forced to really learn a lot of things. So
Yes,
it's
sir.
nice.
Sir,
So if you guys are planning like to have like a webinar or a similar Zoom activity with possible students, I'm open to
Wow.
join you if ever. Just let me know in advance so we can schedule that accordingly. Pasensya na she has been really patient, has been very patient with me actually following up my schedule. So thank you, She.
Thank you din, sir.
thank you, Sir Jean. We'll definitely take up on that offer. We're going to excited na po ako, sir. Ala, sorry po. Medyo maingay-ingay po kasi ako kaya. Yes, sir.
No
Sir,
worries, Karen. I
sir,
can really feel your enthusiasm.
yes, sir. Sir, actually, I'm also a potential international student. Nga lang, not in Europe, but still under ATC in Canada. So I'd
Oh,
also
okay.
like to take that leap of faith that you were saying. So actually, lahat, sir, ng advice na sinabi niyo today, I took it to heart. So I'll definitely be holding on to them. And yes, marunong naman po ako maglaba, so siguro mas magiging ganun pa po yung pagiging attentive ko sa tasks at hand kapag napunta na po ako doon. So yes, sir.
Yes, you will be forced to anyway.
Yes, sir. Sir Jean, thank you very much. Ate She, thank you very much. We hope to see you very, very soon. Ate She will be in touch with you, Sir Jean, so that we could invite you with our webinars, perhaps, and events, future events po.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, She. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Yes.